we're back at it again. We're back at it again. We're talking about Trisha Paytas again. Guys, I can't stop. I can't stop talking about this woman. So I'm going to keep talking about it. Like, I don't care if my whole ass channel is dedicated to dissecting and hating on Trisha Paytas. That's what I'm going to do. If I got to do it, that's what I'm going to do. So that's what we're doing. Her last video was traumatizing. So, okay. Did I talk about this already? I don't know. But this is the latest happening on the Trisha Paytas situation. She made a video responding to Donna Klein, who texted her, hey, if Hila has a miscarriage, I'm going to blame you and Moses, or I'm going to blame Trisha for stressing her out. She texted that to Moses, Trisha's slave, her man's slave, cuck. And so, of course, Trisha Paytas, a few days ago, she was like, I'm done with the drama. We're done with the drama. And then 2 days later, she's like, I can't stay silent. Like, bitch, stay silent? What do you mean you can't stay silent? You haven't been silent. This bitch thinks if she doesn't go on a Twitter, TikTok rampage for more than a day, that she's, like, automatically, like, the stoic, passive queen. No, bitch. You're still, like, 2 days, dude. I relate to the whole, impatience thing. Like, I think if I've done something for 1 day, I'm, like, a master at it. Like, oh, I an instrument for a day, I'm a fucking legend now. I'm a prodigy. No, that's not how it works. Anyways, she made a video. And in that video, and her, like, shit, I should probably be more professional about this, but whatever. She made a video and she said that she is not the one causing stress to Hila's life. Firstly, this is so funny. In the video, she said, what's the video? Let me look this shit up. Honestly, I have to look this up because there's been just so much drama. And now that I'm actually making a video about it, I, like, totally forgot. I'm blanking out. Okay, so 2 days ago, she made a video called I'm Not Staying Silent on This, R.E., Ethan Klein, and Ethan's mom. So this was 2 days ago, so I'm still in the time frame of relevance here. So she said in that video that, firstly, a miscarriage isn't caused by stress. That's the first thing she said, that I'm like, you fucking dumb bitch. Who are you? Is she a doctor? Who are you to say that stress doesn't cause a bodily reaction? Stress, first of all, she's marrying a man who is a fake holistic, we are water autist. And I would say in Moses Hackman's field, like wellness and the mind-body connection, I would assume that's a big part of whatever he's grifting. So for her to be marrying someone who's supposedly so enlightened and so woke and so ascended from the humanistic pettiness that he's involved in, I would just assume that she at least would have talked to him about how stress actually does affect the body intensely, immensely. Not even just the human body. Any, like, conscious being, any creature who has to survive is always stressed out. And a certain amount of stress is necessary. That's how we survive. We pay attention to the things in our surroundings, and our stress levels will usually dictate how we approach a situation. The problem with being human is that a lot of the times we stress ourselves out, or we align ourselves with people who are unnecessarily stressful. And yes, that does affect your body. Not only affects your body because of, like, the tension, but also the choices you make because of stress. Stress always leads to bad choices. People usually never do anything the right way when they're stressed out. That's why people are always like, calm down and then assess the situation. If Trisha Paytas was in DBT, she would realize that not being stressed out is one of the most important factors in emotional regulation, because when you're constantly reacting with stress, when you just react stressfully to things, like you're not rational, you're not your best self. So for her to not only say that, but also say it about someone else that she's causing stress to, and saying, I'm not going to do it. Like, me causing you stress isn't going to do anything to you. It's like, bitch, you're not the person to say that, you fucking idiot. You're not the person to dictate, especially a pregnant woman. Like, I'm not trying to be shady here. This is about to sound shady as all hell. And I'm infertile. Look, I am not having kids. I'm anti-natalist. I don't think I'm ever going to be in a position to have kids of my own, and I have the foresight to recognize that. I have BPD. I'm still dealing with my emotions. I don't think I'd be able to take care of a kid. I do, however, have dogs. So me being able to take care of living creatures at least tells me that I'm able to take care of living creatures. Trisha can't even fucking take care of living creatures. This bitch made her husband get rid of his cats. And then she made him pretend that he never owned them in the first place. Like, I'm sorry, bitch, you can't have a couple of felines who don't even need anything from you other than a litter box and some food? Honey, you really think you know shit about pregnancy? Honey, no. And even if you did, it's not, like, even if you had 28 kids and you're a pro mom, it's not on you to tell someone else how their pregnancy should go, how their pregnancy is going. The fuck? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with her? And so that was the first thing she said. Then she tried to shift blame, as she always does, and said, if anyone's causing Hila stress, it's her own husband who's getting sued. Why is she talking about their lawsuit that has nothing to do with her and that is objectively an unfair lawsuit? Ethan and Hila Klein are getting sued by a scam artist. And Trisha Paytas, this fucking dumb bitch, who literally everything she does that's creative is a carbon copy of something else. You know, from her My Chemical Romance cover band to her Jack and Darman videos to try to make a new, like, everything she's doing, everything she does is literally content other people made. And of course, I'm not holding her to the standard of, like, oh, she's stealing people's material, because it's like I don't take herself, like, I don't care about that. No one can, like, it's fine. But, like, who the fuck is she to say Ethan Klein used pirated footage and got sued by Triller for it? Like, excuse you, bitch? Excuse you? All you ever do is steal people's vibes and try to monetize them. Like, I'm not going to say Trisha's not creative. I'm not going to say she's not, like, hardworking. She is what she is. She does what she does. There's a reason why she's a self-made millionaire. I will give her that. Congratulations. But, honey, no. Who the fuck is she to, like, that's how you know someone's manipulative, is when they start reaching and grasping for anything to absolve themselves of any blame. Like, maybe, yeah, of course a lawsuit is going to stress anyone out. That's not mutually exclusive with being stressed out by other people. If anything, Trisha should have been like, oh, wow, like, my brother-in-law, who I don't really like, but his wife, who happens to be my fiance, my beloved fiance's sister, who, from what we know of Hila, she is docile. She doesn't get her nose in shit. She is just doing her own thing. And of course, even her has to be dragged by Trisha. Trisha's always like, I don't have a problem with Hila. I like Hila. You know what? That's a damn lie. Because Trisha doesn't like anyone. It really doesn't even matter how good of a person you are. She doesn't care. If you are not, devoting your life to praising her, you're nothing, you're no one, you're trash. So, fuck that. That is so ridiculous to me. And so I was just going to say, hold on. I was just going to say that is a good person. Not that we shouldn't even be speculating on whether Trisha's a good person or not, because she's obviously not a good person. And of course, well, what makes a good person? Like, I'm not, like, I'm not a philanthropist. Like, I don't do a lot of humanitarian things. I don't know if I'm a good person, but I would not, like, weaponize someone's pregnancy or weaponize someone's, like, problems in their life to absolve myself of my own wrongdoings. That's, like, the lowest shit. Like, that's some of the lowest shit you could do on a social level. Instead of Trisha thinking, oh, my family, because they are your family, you dumb bitch. As long as you're going to marry Moses, they're your family, you fucking stupid bitch. Your nephew by marriage is your family. Is Theodore not her family? She has literally no concept of family, even though she's very close to her own family. But I don't understand, how is she so close to her own family, but then has absolutely no concept of anyone else's family? Like, that's delusional. So instead of her thinking, you know, maybe I should back off, DBT is teaching me not to be so reactive. DBT is teaching me emotional regulation. Maybe I should take the higher route and just back off. I don't like my brother-in-law. He triggers me. Let me just back off. You know, let them go through with the pregnancy and the lawsuit and all the other stress they're dealing with and just not cause any more problems. But no, of course, she has to make it about herself, as always. Damn. Instead of her using that information, like, and using that information to help her not be petty, she uses that information to take the blame off of herself. Like, you're already dealing with a lawsuit. You're already dealing with other stressful things. I'm not the one stressing you out. It's everything else. No, bitch. You are the most stressful aspect of all this. And can I tell you something? You know why I think I'm so, like, personally butthurt by Trisha? Because, like, you might wonder, why do you pay attention to someone if they trigger you this much? Like, that's something that anyone would tell anyone. That's something I would tell someone else. But the reality is that I feel bamboozled, okay? Because, you know, as someone with BPD, now it's a little bit different. Now mental illness is a little bit more, not only destigmatized, but kind of put on a pedestal. It's kind of like, oh, you don't have a mental illness, so then you don't know anything, or you don't know what pain is. Like, it's like this new badge of honor having a mental illness in this Gen Z TikTok, like, you know, inclusivity phase of our generational society, of our society. Like, when I was growing up, okay, being weird and being mentally ill and doing things that were perceived as crazy by neurotypical people, it wasn't cool. It was actually very isolating. It was really hard to not be called an attention whore when you were actually having an episode. And so when Trisha, you know, came around my life, I related a lot to what I was seeing of her. And I think that's how a lot of us feel. Like, we saw somebody who was a mess, but was still fun, was still interesting, was an anomaly, you know, always contradicting themselves, but in a way that wasn't toxic. And it was like, hey, I relate to that. Like, it's nice knowing that I'm not alone. But I would never fucking behave this way. And this is her true self. These are her true colors. Because she's not in control of the narrative anymore. It's between her and another YouTuber who happens to be big, relatively well-respected, and mentally stable. Like, say whatever you want about Ethan. I know a lot of people don't like Ethan on their own, which is, they don't like, there are people who don't like Ethan because they think his content changed. They think he became an SJW. Like, the way I see it, yes, sometimes Ethan is cringe, but he's not a hypocrite. He didn't change. He grew up. He matured. He became a dad. He isn't, like, sure, sometimes he still likes edgelord humor, but in general, like, he's a 36-year-old man. Like, it's way more pathetic being a YouTuber who's, like, mentally stunted when they were, like, in their 20s making really shitty, insensitive content. But people like to berate Ethan for no longer being cool and edgy. And now he's lame and he's dorky. Like, get the fuck over it. That means he grew up. He's a family man. His wife runs a very successful fashion company that stands on its own two legs. Like, if Ethan didn't have the H3 podcast, they'd still have Teddy Fresh. Like, that shit is, like, I don't personally like the clothes because I think I look like a damn clown wearing it, but, like, he is so much more mentally stable and so much more successful in the grand scheme of things than Trisha ever will be, than Keemstar ever will be. So it's just like, when people shit talk Ethan and they're like, well, you know, he's this and that, it's like, he might be all those things, but he is not a delusional narcissist like 70% of YouTube. Like, that's the weird thing. Some YouTubers are genuinely in it for the content, in it for, like, you know, and for the, maybe a little bit for the parasocial aspect too, of like engaging with people who watch you. And like, sure, sometimes YouTubers develop a fan base that start to look like a cult. I'll admit it. Like, I'll go on the H3 subreddit and sometimes it seems like they don't hold people accountable either. But the reality is that's not his fault. That's not the content creator's fault for having fans who are delusional. Are you going to fucking blame the Beatlemania? Like, are you going to blame fans for like, it's really how the creator utilizes their fan base. And people like to say, Trisha loves to say that Ethan's fans are a cult. Like, they're not a cult, you stupid fucking bitch. They're rational people who accepted you into the world of H3. They standed Trisha. They were like all about her during Frenemies. And then the worse and worse she started acting, the more people started hating her and she can't handle that shit. Like, I'm sorry, bitch. Like, I thought you were self-aware. You're not self-aware. She's not self-aware. She's an asshole. To me, what makes me realize that she's a narcissist and not just borderline is how she reacts to health issues. Emotional stuff is one thing because everyone has feelings, you know? And like, as much as I don't like Trisha Paytas, as much as I don't like a lot of people, I've had to try and learn to accept that they have their own delusional point of view. And unless they do something illegal, there's not going to be any kind of like justice for having a shitty attitude and saying and doing shitty things. But when it comes to like not acknowledging someone's health, especially someone that is close to you, whether you like them or not, but when they're your own like family, even by marriage, like for her to be so callous about Hila's pregnancy, that is some narcissist shit. That's like sociopath shit. I'm not going to call her a sociopath because I feel like people just call everyone sociopaths when they act like assholes. I don't know if she's a sociopath. I just know that she's a narcissist. So it's like she is like unable to connect and to internalize that someone else is going through something that is crazy, like being pregnant, like creating human life. And I guess because she's not currently experiencing it or because she doesn't fit into that narrative. And she also is probably a little bit envious. I'm not going to start being catty. I'm not going to start being terrible, but she's a fucking bitch. And she can't even respect her sister-in-law's, like, bodily, like, what am I trying to say? She can't respect or honor the fact that Hila is actually pregnant. And, like, pregnancy isn't just like, let's go water some plants. Let's go, like, come in a fountain. No. It's a lengthy process. Not to mention that it took Hila and Ethan quite some time to get pregnant. It wasn't like that they fucked, he came in her and, oh, she's pregnant. They were doing, like, treatments to get pregnant. So it wasn't even like, and it wouldn't even matter, but just, Trisha knows all that. And then when she gets mad, she's just like, whatever, I don't care. it's not for me. So even though it should be, because it's like, does she not want to be an aunt? Does she like not want to be? She doesn't want to be a part of a family, which is actually so fucking sad, because like, I don't have a family. I'm estranged from my family. I would fucking love it if I had a significant other whose whole ass family, not only just his family, but his sister's brother's family, if they were willing to accept me, I'd be so fucking happy. I'd be like so gracious. This bitch has no scruples. She's vile and disgusting. In the words of Trisha, she's vile and disgusting. And this is coming from a bitch with missing teeth who looks like a recovering meth head. So I just, like, and I know I'm being rational right now compared to her crazy ass. And I'm not always rational. But when it comes to this shit, bro, everybody else besides her fucking cult fans are like, this chick's a cunt. She's a bitch. This drama is actually getting through to YouTube. Like, it's not just so niche. It's like so ridiculous, because it's like, wow, like, this is actually kind of absurd the way you're behaving. So also, can I just say, I also want to touch a little bit on this whole fact that she's like, Ethan's family is not Moses' family. It's not my family. Like, this chick's dumb. Firstly, Ethan is always going to be Moses' family because he has a kid with his sister. Like, he will always be Theodore's dad. Theodore will always be Moses' nephew. They share genetics. It's no longer just like a marriage thing. It's like, he's forever in that family. Trisha infiltrated that family. She's been with Moses for what, like less than 2 years? And throughout that whole duration of time, she's been a fucking parasite. She's been harassing people left and right. And can I tell you something? What gives me PTSD is that it's one thing to deal with someone who is an asshole, and then you kind of, you separate, and you're like, well, they're an asshole, but that at least they're not bothering anymore. Trisha's a bully. She will poke and prod, and she will like do anything to get a reaction from people. And she really doesn't care if it's negative or positive. If anything, she loves the negative attention she gets. She like thrives and feeds on that negative attention. It's like she doesn't even see this drama with Ethan as like an actual family drama that could be causing them stress. She's seeing it as like a game. Like a game that she's not even completely aware of, but she's treating it like this transactional like game of cat and mouse. And Ethan, he's kind of dumb. Like he is like a fucking rabbit with a carrot stick or whatever, chasing the carrot, whatever. It's like it's not even like, people like to say, well, he's also milking the views. He's also milking the drama by like including her name and everything. Maybe. Really, that's the least he could do. Like, that's the worst he's doing, is like including her in the title of his videos when he kind of has to, because it's like he has to react to her, because Trisha, she's not someone that you can just ignore. She will fucking poke that bear. She will, make TikToks, tweets, videos. The fan base like starts talking about it. There is no way to avoid her harassment without blocking her, which is finally what Ethan did. So good for you, Ethan. And so to me, I'm just like, she really doesn't care. Like, she's not just going through an episode. She's not just mentally ill. She is mentally ill, but it's like past the point for me where it's like, what's the word? Redeeming, or like empathy, like something you should empathize with. It's to that point where it's like, oh, you're a problem. Like, there's a lot of mentally ill people, and guess what? Like, a lot of them are in jail because they're bad people, because their mental illness makes them bad people for the things they do because of their mental illness. So it's like, cool, being mentally ill is something that shouldn't be stigmatized to the extent where it's like, oh, you're crazy, bye. Like, no, we should like give crazy people the ability to grow and not hold them on a pedestal. But it's like she just really keeps getting worse. Like, I really don't know what's the word. Like, this, it's like, I mean, pretty soon she's going to start doing shit that's like actually illegal. And she's already done bad shit. But I don't know why we overlooked it. Because we're stupid? I don't know. Because she's quirky? I don't know. She's already abused Moses. She's already made him get rid of his cats. She's already like been proven to be a complete liar. So what else is there to say? Like, now I just feel like I'm being redundant. But I can't with her. Also, I do want to touch on Moses a little bit too, because let me talk a little bit about relationships, especially relationships between mentally ill people. So Moses is for sure mentally ill, because I don't know what he has, but a normal person, when I say normal, like, I don't know what to call it, like a normie, like a basic, I don't know, a person who is there, they wouldn't put up with Trisha's shit. I'm not saying they wouldn't date someone with a mental illness, because like that would be throwing me under the bus. Like, I don't think mentally ill people should be like restricted from having whole good lives, but a mentally stable, good, like helpful person would not enable somebody like Trisha and what she's doing, especially to their family. Like, a lot of people say, well, does he hate his family? Like, is he autistic? I don't know. I don't know if he hates his family. I think Moses is just, here's what I think about Moses, okay? I think Moses is a lonely motherfucker, okay? I think he's a lone wolf. I think he's the kind of person that, like, he's definitely a relationship kind of guy more than, like, a friends kind of guy. Like, there are people who like their independence, who like having a large social life and being busy, and, you know, they're extroverts pretty much. I think Moses is a hopeless romantic introvert with narcissistic traits. I think that, you know, he loves the lifestyle he gets to have with Trisha. He loves the fact that she's emotionally dependent on him. He loves the fact that she's like his sugar mama. And I'm not saying he's a gold digger, because I feel like a lot of people like may have speculated that. I don't think that's the case. I genuinely think he actually likes how much attention she gets. He likes how vapid she is. He likes the craziness that comes with her, because it helps him feel important. I think Moses may have an issue where he hasn't felt important to someone for a long time, you know? And when you're a narcissist, like Moses clearly is, have you seen his fucking videos? By the way, he says he's water. He has this weird philosophy where you would think he's like holistic and it like deep. He's actually so fucking stupid. Like, if you watch his videos, it's like everything he says pretty much sounds like the commercial from Zoolander where he's playing a mermaid and he's like, water is the essence of wetness, and wetness is the essence of some shit like that. That's like literally how deep Moses's videos are. Like, they do not go past the most superficial, fake, guru sounding shit. It's not even like he's saying obvious platitudes. He can't even go there. He just says, like, he repeats the same shit. Like, water, like, there is no hate. There is no love. So I think Moses thinks he's, like, above this whole relational drama. He's like, no one's dying. No one's exploding, like, in a war zone. Like, we're all just chilling. This is just feelings. These are just feelings and, like, energies. And it's like, you know, people who hate each other are just feeling bad inside. I'm like, bitch, look at your wife. Guess what? A lot of times people are more hateful than others. They have more negative energy to them, and they don't really know how to manipulate it and turn it into something either good or something neutral. Like, they like to take that negative energy and put it onto other people, and that's where it becomes a problem. Where it does become an actual assault. When you are trying to force people to stoop down to your level. And Moses enables that in Trisha with his own family. Moses doesn't realize that he could easily pacify her if he wanted to. He really could, because he is the person, he is her yes man. He is, I don't think if he was like, hey Trisha, could you just like stop? Could you just stop? You don't need to do this. Fuck Ethan, you know? Like, who cares about what he thinks? Ila's my sister. Like, do you think you could just, like, pretend you don't care? Like, even if he triggers you, could you just, like, stop? What would she do? Fuck you, Moses. Like, what is she going to do? She's not going to kick him out. He has all the power to try to at least pacify his psychotic wife. But instead, he enables her. He's her yes man. Like, he lets her convince him what reality is or isn't. He's fighting her battles on Twitter. And it's disgusting. It's sad. It's weak. It's disgusting, sad, and weak. And it's hard to see someone with supposed BPD. Because let's be real, man. I didn't hate Trisha before. You know? I wouldn't be making this video if I just never... Like, here's the thing. If I never liked Trisha in the first place and I found out about this drama, I'd just be like, okay, I don't care, because it's like, I never, like, I'm not surprised. Like with the Gabby Hanna thing, I didn't care that much because I was just like, well, I never watched her content and I never liked her. So why would I care about her drama? Trisha Paytas, in my opinion, is actually like, she is almost as bad as Gabby Hanna. I don't want to say she's as bad as Gabby Hanna, because at least Trisha knows how to be interesting and charming and funny once in a while. Like, Gabby Hanna to me is just like all trash. It's like nothing there for me. But with Trisha, it's like I was her fan. So for me, I was like, you know, maybe if she, like, I don't know if she just wouldn't be with someone who would actually help her grow. Maybe she just, like, won't allow that for herself, which is what makes her a shit tier human. Because she'd rather be right than happy. Or she would rather be, like, self-righteous or just, like, arrogant than compromise and make things better for everyone. She can't do that. So seeing her with someone who is just completely retarded and seeing her get worse and worse and worse and worse because she has someone next to her who's probably enabling her and saying, yeah, you're right. You right. You're totally justified in feeling this way, even though literally everyone else thinks you're a delusional, narcissistic piece of shit. You right. And that's all she needs, is she just needs her fucking fiance's recognition and validation. She's like, yeah, I am right. Yeah, I am right. I am going to continue to harass people. I am going to continue to, like, traumatize all my fans. She's traumatized me, bitch. Because, like I said, it's like I was catfished by her. You know, I don't watch a lot of YouTubers. I don't watch a lot of content. I kind of have my rotation of what I watch. So if you're in my rotation, it's because you earned it. And I was not mentally prepared to deal with this kind of, like, shit that she's pulled that's caused me PTSD. And I'm not going to blame her for watching her. I'm not going to blame her for giving me PTSD, because guess what? I'm the one choosing to watch her. I'm the one choosing to go to her channel and angrily comment on all her fucking videos. So I'm going to take full accountability for that. Just like she needs to fucking, she always talks about taking accountability for shit. I don't think she takes accountability for anything. It's funny. She's like, I've taken accountability. Bitch, when? And so, you know how someone always says, like, I do this, I do that, and then you just believe them because they say it so much, and then you actually think about, like, the track record, and you're like, wait, you said you did this and that, but you actually never did. So where is this, like, but we believe it because she's just so fucking good at convincing us. Because she's so articulate, and she's really manipulative. And the thing is, like, I was being a little bit naive for a while. This is a lesson to not just believe people. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. You know what I mean? Trisha has showed us who she is, and I'm believing her. I'm believing her actions, not her fucking hypocritical words. So I don't know, like Moses, dude, I don't even really want to talk about him because he loves attention. And before Trisha, he was a no one. No one knew who the fuck he was. No one cared about him. No one knew who he was. So I'm just enabling that. Cool. Lastly, fuck, I was gonna say one more thing and I totally forgot. Oh yeah. Last thing is about the last Frenemies episode that apparently was never aired. And apparently there's just so much intel in that episode that would change the narrative. Obviously it's not going to change the narrative. Like, Trisha's a liar, and it's almost sad because she's like, just wait for it. So I'm like, bitch, we know it's bullshit. Like, that's the sad thing. I can't believe her anymore. So it's not fun to watch her anymore because it's like watching like a liar. Like, why am I gonna watch someone who just always lies? Like, the whole point of something being interesting is that there's like truth to it, that there's like something that you could relate to. If I know that this bitch is just a compulsive pathological liar, why the fuck do I want to watch anything she does? It's ruined for me. But I don't know, I'm in the camp of release the fucking episode. Seriously, once he releases the episode, he probably never will, or maybe she should. One of them should release the damn episode, because guess what? When that shit drops, it's over. It's fucking over. Like, it doesn't even matter what she responds to it. It's over. It's done. Every request she had that she was holding over their head would be gone. First, it was Donna's text message, which was, hey, tell your fucking bitch to shut the fuck up because she's gonna fucking, if she causes something to happen to Hila's pregnancy, I'm gonna blame you because this is what you're doing. That was the first thing. And most people were like, yeah, I mean, it was kind of harsh, but she deserved it. It is Hila's mother-in-law and the grandmother of her child. So it's like, you fucking bitch, you stupid bitch. And now it's the Frenemies episode. That is like their last, whatever. I don't know. I'm kind of over talking about it now. I think I got everything I needed out. But I just have to say that, you know, I know Trisha Paytas is not going to watch this video, especially not a whole 40 minutes. If you stuck out this 40 minutes of my rant, thank you. I appreciate it. But if you are someone that is like Trisha, and you might be teetering between being a good person and being delusional, and you're kind of at the cusp where you're like, I don't know. I mean, am I cutting her out? Am I cutting her off? Is she as bad as everyone's saying? She is. She really is. And you shouldn't want to be like her. If you relate to her and you feel compelled to defend her because you relate to her, you need to look in the damn mirror. And you need to ask yourself, is this someone I want to relate to? There's a lot of people you could relate to. There's a lot of people you could be like. I wouldn't say being like her is somewhere you want to be, okay? Like, if you organically relate to her, even after all of this, then maybe you shouldn't watch this video. I don't want to know you. I don't want to deal with you. But that would take self-awareness and actual, like, foresight. So, if you're like Trisha Paytas, you won't acknowledge that about you. But if you are acknowledging that about you and you acknowledge that there's a lot of things that you do that she does and you don't really like it, that's a really good first step in becoming a better person, like just acknowledging it in the first place. It's okay to be wrong, and it's always better to just say sorry before it gets worse and worse, because when you double down, like when all this started, it wasn't that big of a deal, and Trisha seemed like an asshole, but if she just kind of kept quiet and laid low and did her own thing for a while, we would have just been over it. We would have liked her again, because that's just how it always is. But she's really just gotten to the point where it's like, okay, you're a trash human, and I'm not going to promote that. In fact, I don't even want to watch her videos anymore. I just want to let the T channels do it, and I'll watch them, because I am done I'm fucking done helping her support her toxic life. I'm done being one of the thousands of people who help this psychotic narcissist live in a wonderful mansion, when there are actual good people working 9-to-5 jobs who could barely keep an apartment roof over their heads. So yeah, food for thought. Guys, remember, drink water, drink your Moses, breathe, try to meditate. If you find yourself feeling agitated or stressed out or whatever, just, take a deep breath and say tomorrow is a new day. And then the day after that is a new day. And today is a new day. Today is a new day than yesterday. 1 minute at a time. If you have BPD and this whole thing has stressed you out and you feel hopeless because you're like, damn, if Trisha Paytas has BPD and this is how she is, what about me? You could change, okay? Never feel discouraged by someone else's shitty behavior. Never let someone else's, shortcomings or even wins, don't let that affect you in a negative way ever. You don't have to be anything you don't want to be. So if you don't like what you're seeing and you're scared that it might apply to you, it wouldn't. It won't. As long as you know that if there's something that needs to be worked on, you work on it and you don't involve anyone else and you don't force other people to stoop to your level because you don't feel okay. That's the worst thing you could do. Not growing, not failing and getting up and failing again. It's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. It's not okay to think your failure is not a failure and then try to convince everyone that it's a win and try to distort everyone's reality just because you can't deal with your own. So that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. And if there's anything else you want to hear me talk about, go ahead and comment. Thank you so much.